Welcome to the shooting show. This week, Irishman Jason Doyle's back in the shotgun shooting saddle as he goes pigeon decoying. Plus we bring you all the latest news from the shooting world. Jason's promised to show us his secret recipe for cooking pigeon breasts. Just one problem, we need to get some pigeons first. So a morning behind the hide is called for. Off we go. Of course, this isn't just a culinary exercise. The crops are up and this barley field is at its most vulnerable. We're not into prime summer decoying season yet, but we can't wait any longer. Crop protection needs to be done now.
This morning, try to shoot a few pigeons and crows off this lodge barley. It's just gone down in the last couple of nights. Had quite a bit of wind and rain. Not a whole lot on it, maybe 20 birds on it when we walked in. But the field next door, there's a couple of real small lodgings and they've really stripped them, so there has been a number of birds feeding in the area. So I wouldn't expect to get a whole lot here. If we can shoot 10 or a dozen, to be honest, I'd be happy. But we just set up the decoys in this long lodge and pretty rudimental hide in the hedge. We've had to carry everything in, so I'm going to give it an hour. Not a whole lot stirring at the moment, but yeah, it's nice to be out first day of the summer decoying. A little bit early, I think we're probably 2 weeks early, but nice way to spend a Saturday morning. Yeah, so in standing corn like this, it's an invention of Stephen's really. It's a length of bamboo with a 5mm pop rivet in the top and a 6mm hole drilled in your decoy. And it just sits on it real nice, gives a little bit of movement and gets it up out of the crop.
Like his hero Jeff Garrett, Jason has opted to load up with Ely Pigeon Select shells, but he's forgone the standard semi-auto in favour of the over and under approach. Some early action sees Jason putting both of his barrels to use. That's a frustrating miss, but with more traffic than we expected, Jason gets a chance to put matters right immediately. Jason's got confidence in his pattern, but the pigeons aren't always coming in. Many opt to stay the course to the next field, staying agonisingly out of range. Doyle takes his chances as and when he can. As the action hots up again, we ask Jason whether he's missing the 3-shot capacity of an auto, but it appears he's quite happy as he is.
It's the new 725 second edition from Browning. I was using the first edition last year with a 32-inch barrel and adjustable stock, but this is the new one out for this year. I have it since just after Christmas, and yeah, I really like it. It's 30-inch. Last one was 32s, and to be honest, I do prefer 32s, but I've tuned into this one quite nicely now. Really nice gun to shoot. Been shooting quite a few clays with it lately, and hitting more than half of them, so happy enough. But no, it's a nice gun to use, and I'm using the Ely Pigeon Selects. I've taken them out of the boxes because I don't like the photographs of Jeff Garrett on the boxes. It's just not a nice image to have with you in your hideout for the day. But no, they're good shell. Really happy with them. Killing well. Killed some nice long pigeons this morning, and killed a jackdaw early on at probably 60 yards. So yeah, good combination, and nice and light on the shoulder, and not too expensive either.
Two more of those Ely cartridges are quickly put to good use as Jason drops 2 woodies in succession. We've got an hour or so left in the hide. Let's see what he can do.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up at that. Given it probably 3 hours, and shot a nice few birds, more than I'd expected, to be honest. We've probably 30 pigeons down and 2 or 3 crows. Had some really nice shots. Some of them were coming in quite well on the decoys. Some were coming into land in these trees behind us, but had some real nice long crossers way out over beyond the pattern. Nice high birds, and yeah, really enjoyed it. It was a fun couple of hours. I reckon if you sat here the rest of the day, you'd probably grind a 50 or 60 out of it, but I've had enough now, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So pack up, see how many we can pick up, and head for home.
Picking up the shot birds, including a few that flew on and we marked earlier, we can leave the field as we found it. Then it's back to the larder for Jason to show us his patented recipe.
So most of the birds that we've picked up have gone into the freezer. They'll be used as decoys later on in the season. But I'm going to breast a few of these, and it's a meat I really like to use. Can be a little bit dense in flavour and kind of a tinny taste, but I think that's just due to the amount of blood that's in the breast when you breast them quite fresh. But at this time of year it's warm and it's difficult to hang them, so I like to take the breast off more or less immediately. So I'm just going to go through that now and marinate them. Really simple marinade. It's just a way I like to do it. But hopefully you'll try it and maybe like it, and let me know if you do. So once you have the breast exposed, you can just run your knife down each side of the bone, and just the tip of your knife. Just clean the few feathers off, and there's your breast. So now we have our breasts removed, and to marinate them I just like to put them in one of these little sealable tubs. You can put them in a freezer bag either, that works fine. I just like to put them in this. And once they're in, I like to add a good bit of olive oil, quite a lot of olive oil. And then chop some onions, just pretty rough, and throw that in as well. Crush some garlic. Then I like to add some herbs. I have rosemary and thyme here. And then one of the things I really like to add to pigeon breast is lemon juice, and I add quite a lot of lemon juice. And what lemon juice does is it kind of cooks the meat, and the acidity kind of cooks it slightly, it changes the colour, and for me it takes away that real gamey taste, the strong livery taste, which personally I don't like. So I add quite a lot of lemon juice, and then I like to add some of this peri peri sauce. Just gives a little kick. Then once you've sealed it up, give it a good shake. And then I refrigerate this for ideally overnight, but if you can 4 or 5 hours, should be fine. And then what I like to do is actually cut the strips quite fine before I cook them, and just fry them really quickly, literally 2 minutes, and they'll be done. They'll keep the nice pink colour, and with all these flavours infused, they should be really good. And it's my favourite way of eating pigeon breast.
Jason sharing his expertise there. And now it's the shooting show news.
This is the shooting show news. It's the game fair this weekend. Taking over the grounds of Hatfield House from Friday to Sunday, the undisputed king of outdoor field sports events returns for its 59th year and its first ever at the Hertfordshire location. Alongside a huge shooting line, there'll be gun dog displays, gamekeeping and land management exhibits, a busy main arena, the famous Game Fair Theatre and a trade presence from the biggest companies in the business. We'll see you there as we camp out on the sporting rifle stand and roam the aisles for all the news from the fair. And if you're eyeing up a big buy at the Game Fair, there's a new finance initiative that will make it easier to afford new gear. Game Fair Finance will offer personal loans before, during and after the show, with a stand in the fishing village processing applications on the day and depositing funds in your account within 2 hours. It's also offering interest-free finance on camping packages and payment instalment plans for that new rifle, shotgun or scope. Visit Game Fair Finance at the weekend or get the money beforehand by heading to gamefairfinance.co.uk. Elsewhere, the Code of Good Shooting Practice has been updated. The code, produced by 10 different shooting organisations, now includes extra advice on the responsibilities of everyone in the shooting community, not just guns but also keepers, beaters, pickers up and shoot organisers. The team behind the code said everyone involved in a shoot should check whether it complies with the code, and if not, they should go elsewhere. Download a copy of the code from the BASC website. And finally, crime involving firearms in England and Wales has increased, but is still way down on a decade ago. The Office for National Statistics said that much of the 23% increase in firearms offences is driven by offences involving BB guns or imitation firearms being included in the stats, when they previously weren't. The same applies to possession with intent, which hasn't been covered in the figures before. Crime involving legally held firearms or shotguns is as low as ever. That was the Shooting Show News. To play us out, here's the director jumping out of a plane with the Red Devils in aid of Save the Rhino International. You can see the full video next week.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at the game fair this weekend. And please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of Basque, it's time to join now. Basque, looking after your sport, looking after you. This has been The Shooting Show.